It is time to make a fall jacket.
Okay, I'll just check if there's anything in demand.
Damson matter.
Damson matter.
Damson matter.
Damson matter.
13,000 people are on the wait list for the
Damson Matter Jerry Trench Coat. Pre-order. Fully reversible. Endless styling options. Ships the first week of December. Well, if you're watching this before December, there is still time for you to make this yourself. You can even customize this cute little pocket to say whatever you want. If you guys have seen that there's a pattern for that series floating around, that's one of the suggestions. She also suggests modifying a coat pattern with a large collar and oversized fit. Hey, you made this. Large collar, oversized fit. Okay, yeah, I did. But the front needs to be extended for a double-breasted overlap. Like this, remember we extended it from the center? Okay, the other thing she says we need is flat felled seams. Like in this one, right? Flat felled seams. We hit all the raw edges so that it's reversible. But this time the inside is a different fabric, so we have to do bagged lining. You bag the lining in this one. 2 types of fabric, no visible seams. So you've done all these techniques in silhouettes before, you just need to put it all in one jacket. Okay, I guess I need your pattern. Got it. Your flared sleeves. Got it. Let's start. All right, in case you are new here, we're gonna go from this, crawling on the floor, drawing lines on paper, to this, putting on a finished jacket. And that includes all the steps in between. If you check out my Substack linked in the description, I shared more on the first step. Now it's on to step 2, my first attempt at turning this jacket into a pile of paper, the pattern. Would you like to see yesterday's pattern modification? These are the 3 pieces that make up a collar. I trace all of them exactly in the blue marker, and the red is the modification. I added some length to the upper collar, the under collar. Their upper collar is split, so I added some seam allowance to make it into 2 halves. And then the collar stand needs that same additional height, but then I kind of rounded it out a little so that it didn't feel so extreme. Pattern modification I find is always a little bit of science, a little bit of art. For the sleeve, I matched the pattern up along the top shoulder edge. Let this just hang open. That gets me this. Close off that gap with a line. Today I think I'm gonna actually flare the sleeve out even more so that it matches the shape of their sleeve. And the front. Whew, this one took the most work because we're going from a center row of buttons to basically, I guess, a double-breasted fit. I stole the yoke, the sleeve hole, the front center, just left this gap here and connected it to make it smooth. And up at the neck hole, this comes down your neck, center front, then it goes straight across to a right angle based on my research. There's a chance this is too big, but the original jacket is oversized, so we may get lucky. What I ended up doing with the back is I copied the yoke, copied the armhole from this piece, filled in this space, and then added this 5 centimeter 2-inch extra to create that back pleat that you see on the back of the jacket. I feel like I have Google image searched every single angle of this jacket to try to get it as accurate as possible. Before we get to fabric, there's a few classic checkpoints that a pattern should always fulfill. The under collar should be ever so slightly smaller than the upper collar. Here and here. This is because you normally don't want the under collar peeking out. However, this is reversible, so maybe I will end up massaging it to be as close as possible. The collar stand should be symmetrical. Yep. This is how the sleeve looks now. I did add a bit more flare to the bottom. Fold it in half and check that the side seam matches this seam right here because they have to be the same length. Down the center front, I also fold it to make sure that extra fabric I added doesn't stick out over the bottom edge of the jacket. In this case, it does. So this is where you give it a trim. Now it is smooth. Last thing, this side seam from armpit to hem, front and back should be the same length. My back is ever so slightly longer. I'll give that a little trim. And with those checks complete, we're on to step 3, a mock-up, a muslin, a toile. It's using an inexpensive material to test drive a pattern. I used to often skip this step in the name of sewing faster, but going faster can come with more mistakes and more trips to the fabric store, which can end up being even slower and more expensive than if you just took a second and made a mock-up, Wendy. It's really going to be okay. I'm not speaking from any personal experience. Let's build a collar. Okay, wait. Oops, wait. Wait, that's not the right thing to do. Ah! Guys, how am I seam ripping on my very first stitch? Nothing humbles you like sewing. Okay, the first step is actually sew the 2 over collar pieces to their corresponding under collar piece. grade it, flip it, try to get a really pointy corner. Picture the back split and here in the front. I think I did the right thing. Let's do the other one. This gets the split in the back of the collar that I observed, and now I think it gets sandwiched between the two collar stands, which means I need to make a note. One collar stand will need to be plaid and the under collar needs to be plaid. This is a lot of easing it through the machine, trying to get all the layers lined up as they go through and without sewing in any wrinkles. When I get to the real fabric, there will be a lot of grading to cut down on the bulk, but we're just trying to get an idea of the fit. Trying to be a good fashion student. Press before you flip and after you flip. I think I got it. This is not supposed to be open though. I need to figure out the step where this gets closed off. Just make it separate. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to write these steps down, like, legitimately. Whew, anyone else have this problem? You have to remember to drop your shoulders. Relax. Going through all the layers in the middle section where it attaches to the split collar, but on the ends, I'm gonna attach the collar stand to the upper and under collar separately. And that is going to let me finish off this edge. I believe that is the solution to get this edge to close. My brain's gonna start getting all like topsy-turvy. Okay, moving this aside. Time for shoulders. First, I think I need to close off this little back pleat. Tried to copy their stitch design, and I'm just inserting it below where the original pattern's yoke ends, because that's kind of the natural breathing spot for the shoulders. I'm gonna sew the back together, ending here like so. Oh my gosh, I love sewing with contrasting thread, so it's easy to show you what I'm doing. Opening it up, that makes this pleat under the box, and the box is just gonna secure all of this. Now I'm gonna fix how this is ironed, because theirs is not one fold resting to the side, but it's squash fold right down the middle. Drawing a line on the halfway point. I'm gonna use that as a guide. A nice and even center fold. Woo. Okay, flat felt seam. I think I want the shoulders wrong sides together. Sleeves, where are the sleeves? 2 notches is the front half of the sleeve. Okay, I'm trying not to get my sleeves mixed up. Because this is the draft, I'm only doing the first half of a flat felled seam. That way, if I need to undo any of the stitches, it won't be too brutal. Gotta line up my notches. I don't think there's any way to tell that this is going okay, aside from getting to the next step, which is sealing the side seam. So it's supposed to be able to button up all the way up like this, or, you know, have it hanging open like this. The arm length though, that's what I expected. So let's do the side seams. Okay, this is the first time you get to see the fit. When the shoulders are done, sleeves are on, gravity can take its course so you can see how it's all hanging on you. Let's make a little checklist. Drop shoulder position. Yep, I'm good with that. Technically might be a little bit lower than theirs, but I'm happy with how it's fitting on me. Sleeves length as well as flare, also good. Theirs has a cuff. Now knowing that I like how this hits on my fingertips, I'm gonna incorporate that into building a little cuff piece. Bottom length, however, though there's nothing wrong with what I have here, theirs, the sleeve is longer than the torso, so I might crop it a little bit more. Oh, let me show you the back though. Woo! Wow, I really like this back pleat. The overall bagginess I am happy with. It's very cozy and spacious at the same time. Earlier today I prepared this plaid bed sheet that I thrifted. I'm going to use that as the draft fabric for the plaid side. I didn't want to cut into it until I had finished this in case there was any drastic notes, but I think I'm ready to go. And after the plaid I can attach the collar, and that will really show us if we've hit the nail on the head. Here is the plaid layer, essentially a total duplicate of the shell that I made earlier. Today's difficult task is a bagged lining. In the realm of sewing, this is the outer limits of my brain 3D visualization skills. This is like the quantum physics of sewing. Okay, wait, just give me a second to review. I always forget. Okay, I can do this. I 2 layers, right sides touching, pin all the way around. Made it all the way around. Outer shell, arms are free. Inner shell, arms also free. Now we sew the sleeve openings right sides together. I take the outer shell, flip the cuff just a little bit, hold the inner shell open. Pay attention to where the little side seam is. Push the outer into the inner. And I turn, make sure those 2 little side seams are lined up, and sew all the way around. Seam ripping and opening in the sleeve. Of course I could have left this gap here when I was sewing, but I forgot that was part of doing a bag lining. The sleeves are like this, and apparently I'm supposed to just reach in here and flip the whole thing. The video I'm watching says it's gonna look pretty disturbing, like giving birth to a fabric alien. 1 sleeve. 2 sleeves. Did we do it? Oh my gosh! Wow! You'll notice the edges are a little puffy, not crispy. We're gonna address that in the final. Oh my gosh. Okay, the tutorial I followed used an arm slit to complete the flip, but because I need the collar to stay open, I'm realizing that maybe I could leave the collar open instead of the arm slit. I'm gonna seam rip and give that a try. This is the trial and error of making a draft. You get to figure out the order of operations. I was about to attach the collar, but then I realized I forgot one part, which is close these pointy ends, right sides together. Snip, lip. Ooh, that is sharp. Yeah. Now I'm pinning it to the jacket. I think I'm gonna sew it to the lining layer first. 1/2 attached. I had a roadmap in mind, and I've discovered that I really am just figuring this out as I go. But I think what I'm gonna do now is press the entire thing, and then that will let me top stitch this side of the collar closed. Top stitched. You can see it a little on the plaid side, but I think that's okay because the plaid pattern will hide the stitching a little bit. Did we get it, you guys? Or you can wear it like this. Okay, let's see the other way. Wow. Wow. Oh, I gotta try it with the cuffs flipped. I can't believe my draft turned out this good. Before the kids came home from daycare, I tried to squeeze in a few more jacket adjustments and details that I still need to incorporate, like I'm trying to figure out the size and location of the large pocket. I also noticed that my double-breasted overlaps seem to be overlapping too much. I tried to reduce that. I was also trying to eyeball the button tab. That's the one that shows up on the collar, pockets, and the cuff straps. And here are the kids as we speak.
Can we sew together, Mama?
You see yourself? I'm wrapping up a few more adjustments to make on the pattern. I'm going to walk you through them in a moment, but let's get to step 5. It's the most expensive step. We're going fabric shopping. A tweed? Can I take a small sample?
I go first.
Okay, thank you. Oh yeah, but I like the brown. Okay, I'm at my second stop, trying to see if there's any plaids here that I like. Where is it? This one with an off-white solid, very autumnal. Dark brown solid. I did come in here curious for a pink, but I don't think this is what I want. Color variation is not as high, but I can see it working. This one is very close in color scheme, and then this one a touch of yellow. Chartreuse. I also noticed this one, a warm browny green, some brown and blue. Trying to see something.
See how the plaid changes when you open it?
I could be convinced.
I'm not trying to convince anyone, I just...
Okay, this is the one that he wants me to try. I don't hate it, but I hate it on me.
That's okay.
I think I always look washed out in like dusty colors.
Very cutesy, that's for sure.
Yeah,
It
that,
brings
yeah,
out your
it's very
cheeks.
like,
You get what I'm saying.
yeah. Okay, one of my friends said I should consider a purple. It's really testing my visualization skills. Okay, I am running out of time, which is concerning. Why am I so indecisive? Don't hate this. Coco Chanel. I made a decision. Yesterday I was so tired after I got home. In order to view all the plaid options in the fashion district, I started at one store, went all the way around, and then had to go back to the store that I liked the plaid the most. There was this Oasis merch lineup, and I'm pretty sure I walked by them 4 times. Made me feel like an extra in the Truman Show, where it's like I just have a scheduled walk to look like a nondescript female strolls by. But this is what I got. First, some fusible jacket interface to add some structure, especially at the collars, placket, cuffs maybe. I went to my all-time favorite button store. It's like Ollivander's Wand Emporium for buttons. I'm trying to find something like these tortoiseshell ones. This is the best I could find to match my fabrics. Top stitching thread to give you an idea of the color I went with. For solid, it's this beautiful brown moleskin twill. It's got the very utilitarian diagonal pattern of twill, but it's been brushed up to create a little bit of a pile, giving it more of a suede velvety texture. It feels luxurious. But this is all backwards. The item I actually had to buy first was the plaid. She's a tunnel, she's a little Sherlock Holmes, and she needs to now be pre-shrunk in the wash. In the past, I haven't always done this, but it's time to do the right thing. While it's washing and drying, a very quick summary of my pattern adjustments. Collar, no notes. I can't believe it. Front bodice. I reduced the front overlap, also reduced the height. I cut out a pattern for a bottom cuff and a button placket, which you can see on the original is on the shell side, but not on the plaid side. Back bodice also reduced the height, also added that cuff pattern that is just for the shell, not for the plaid. I made a pattern for the big pocket. That extra material at the diagonal opening is so it can be folded under to make a nice clean hem. Side pockets. I actually didn't realize this jacket even had them. It was just one random photo shot at a certain angle that made me realize, oh, there's invisible side pockets. This shape I copied from a raincoat, and then I marked its location on the sides of the front and back bodice. The tabs, I eyeballed this. I think it's in the zone. You need a full size one for the sleeves and a shorter version for the collar and the pocket tabs. And lastly, the detachable scarf. I'm actually not quite confident to discuss this one at this time. We're gonna finish the jacket first. The fabric's dry, so it's time to press. This is the problem that I face with buying fabric. You either play it safe, you get plenty of fabric, but that means you probably have a growing pile of leftovers stashed somewhere. Or you try to reduce waste, you get just enough fabric, but that comes with the risk of multiple trips to the fabric store if you happened to undercalculate. Is this a bit of foreshadow as to what is going to happen to me in this video? Yes, it is. Just wait, you will see. You guys can let me know in the comments if you are team buy extra or team buy just enough. If you stay till the end, you will see that for this project, I was team buy not enough many times. Thought I would finish cutting all the fabric in one day, but alas, day 2. It's also Marla's last day at her daycare today. I've already cried today, so it's time to sew. Ooh, this one is turning out very tight. Maybe I could have bought a little bit more of this fabric to cut it more easily. I got the big pieces down, folded exactly to the width I need for that, so I can squeeze in this guy on the side. And the sleeve is gonna wait till this is all cut to refold it for the sleeve. The thing that's not perfect is the detachable scarf is supposed to be cut on a fold here to get you something symmetrical, but I don't think I have enough fabric for that. So there is going to be a center seam on the detachable scarf. I'm not mad about it, however, because I do find in general center seams add a certain amount of tailoring and crispness to how things look. Or at least that's what I hope. I'm getting so dizzy from standing up and sitting down so much, but we're almost done. We are almost done. This is the waste pile, and it's very small, I think, because I've forced myself to cut this extremely efficiently because I am on the verge of running out of fabric. I have a bunch of fusible interfacing to attach so the jacket looks crisp literally while I'm doing this. I'm also second guessing it because too much interfacing can make the jacket look too stiff, but I'm just gonna have to wait and see how the layers come together. I also drafted and cut the side pockets, and I'm trying to figure out a good font match as well as sizing for the embroidery. Okay, let's work on the pockets. I am scared, but that doesn't mean I stop moving. I'm also a little extra on edge today because my daycare is on strike. Dan found this backup daycare option. I was like filling in all this paperwork, and today I dropped off Oscar there for the first time. And I do feel nervous. He's out there in the world. Okay. This little extra bit of fabric here on the pocket, folded it under 2 times to hem the pocket opening, looks like this. I'm gonna do that thing again where I set up 1 machine for top stitch, 1 machine overlocking, 1 machine regular thread. And with 1 more dash to the fabric store, we are finally sewing the actual jacket. I forgot to get embroidery stabilizer, which is essential for this lettering. I don't have an embroidery machine, but I do have a Cricut. And my plan is to draw the letters on the stabilizer and then use this decorative stitch and this zigzag stitch on my sewing machine. I had to do a second run with the Cricut to fix the lettering proportions, and then it's a straight stitch to trace the lettering, followed by a zigzag and scallops. Let's flip this over and see the results. You guys, it looks so good. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I did this with no embroidery machine, no embroidery foot, just me and a decorative stitch. I mean, let's compare. Had to make some judgment calls on which side would be scalloped, which side would be smooth, and then there was also these parts where the script runs over itself, so you kind of have to get your order of operations correct. On the back you can see I originally had a guiding stitch along all of the green lines, and then for the scallop parts I removed the guiding stitch, so that is just a scallop. Okay, I'm gonna make the brown one now. I'm done. Oh, my back, my neck. Ta-da! Oh, it's a little hard to see. So often with embroidery, people will use embroidery floss, which has a nice satin finish to it. However, when I looked at the embroidery floss options, they felt too shiny, and I do think there's something a bit more muted and quiet about this jacket. So I just went with regular thread, which does have a little bit of shine. Let's attach them to the coat. You guys, I thought this jacket would be done in a matter of days, maybe weeks, but now it's been like a month of sewing. Sorry, Sagwa's all up in my space. I'm just gonna end this one here and give you guys a part 2 coming very soon, literally being edited right now. Subscribe, hit the bell if you don't want to miss it. For a peek ahead, I do weekly live streams on my Substack, WITHWENDY.substack.com. Link is also in the description. Some of you have been seeing some sneaky sewing updates there. So yeah, check it out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.